If you were a New England sports fan today, you must be completely ecstatic.
Yes, I know, Lay. I'm on the table like a weirdo.
Yep, I am a happy camper this week because the Patriots, as you most likely should know, won the Super Bowl 6th in their franchise history. Pretty awesome. Thank you for tuning in to the podcast. I had a whole stupid setup to intro, but I completely just kind of threw that out the window in the last 15 seconds. So I will be reviewing the Super Bowl today, just going over some of my thoughts and opinions on the matter. It's funny because I prepare for both scenarios, if they win or lose, and to be honest with you, I had more content ready if they lost. I'm not upset about not having to use it, but just I think it's funny that I had more stuff to do. But because I didn't need this whole page of stuff that if they lost, we will just get rid of that immediately, and I sank that in the bucket. Dope. So let me first start off by saying that I am actually very pumped that they won. Obviously, man. What a game. What a terribly beautiful defensive, which I love defensive games, by the way. I believe that every sort of game in the NFL has its place in the current state of the NFL. I mean, I don't get me wrong. I loved the Kansas City Rams, what was that, week 12 or something matchup where it was the final score was like 105 to 106. I like that. That was fun, but I do not want to see the league turn into that because let's face it, that's arena league, that is college terrible football, no defense. That's just not fun. I like a defensive game. I like games that honestly end around like 27, around 30 points. Like even 30 is a little bit much sometimes. I like touchdowns to be significant, basically. I like it when a team scores and it means something rather than like when you just get into a shootout, like even the Pats and Chiefs game, when you just get into a shootout, it's like, all right, well, you're just cheering the whole time. Like for fantasy football, it's good, but at the same time, it's like, when everyone's scoring ridiculous amount of points, it's really just kind of like, oh, I'll just pick him, and this week he's going to get 3 touchdowns, So I'm huge on defense. I like games ending like, 20 to 27, 23, 27, 24, 27, around mid, and, occasionally if it jumps up to a 40, like, do you remember the days when, like, a team would hang a 40 on a team and you'd be like, oh my God, a 40 burger. It had a name for it, 40 burger. Now, that's just like, if a team doesn't put up, like, I mean, the top 4 scoring teams, the one in the championship round, the AFC and the NFC championship round, those teams were averaging, like, over 30 points a game, which is bananas. That's bananas. Anyway, I am pumped because, again, Super Bowl victory, it's never a bad thing, even though some people want to claim that it is. Some people actually have been beaten down so much by the New England Patriots that they go, well, they won it. It was a terrible game. That's the stuff I'm hearing. I'm hearing it was a terrible game and that Brady rode his team and won it. Like, yes. No and yes are the two answers to this. And that's not a bad thing. You're going to tell me that you forget about last year when Brady, goes 28 of 40 for 505 yards or 514 yards or whatever it was, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, and loses. And now that performance is just lost to history. No one will ever remember, other than, when you see it in a Super Bowl when they bring up the stats, or if you go look for the stats, that Brady threw for 500 yards and a touchdown. No one remembers that. No one's going to care about that because you lost. You didn't win. But when he throws for 260 and a pick and no touchdowns, everyone's like, oh, crap. Just count that ring. It makes no sense to me whatsoever. It doesn't make any sense. It makes 0 sense to me why people are bitching about it. And for the fact that the game was tied 3-3 going into the 4th, yes, it's not a high-scoring game, but do you realize how lucky we are that we've had some of the best, like, I'd say the top 5, maybe even a majority of the top 10 Super Bowls of all time have been in the last, 15 years. And the Pats have been part of 8 of them. 8 of every single Super Bowl that they've been to. It's 9 of them. All 9 Super Bowls that they've been to have come down to, the very last plays. Like, last night was the largest margin of victory that they won. Not last night, but you know what I mean, Sunday night. And the fact that it was tied with like 4 minutes to go, you should be happy that the games are like that. I remember like in the early 90s, there was blowout Super Bowl. The Super Bowl was like, that's why the Super Bowl became a party, because the game was trash, but at least you had like everyone came over for the big game. Like even when your team's not in it, like I can't imagine you don't have like World Series viewing parties. Like when it's, when it was the Astros and Royals or whatever that matchup was, Astros and Royals, like, nobody went to someone's house for like, let's go watch game 1 together. Like that doesn't happen in any other sport. That's the only, like if your team's not in it, obviously. So the fact that we actually have close games now and the Super Bowl is actually a good game, you shouldn't be poo-pooing on it, even if it is a slow kind of defensive struggling game. You shouldn't poo-poo on it. Just remember like the Seattle. So look at the Seattle Broncos game, the Seattle Denver game, the Super Bowl 50. Was this? No, Super Bowl 48. I don't know. Whatever the Super Bowl was. That game was trash. Other than me just wanting and loving seeing Manning and his team get their faces blown off, that game was insufferable. It was just the Seattle was just wiping the floor, doing whatever they wanted with them, and I was like, this has just become boring at this point. I don't even want to watch this game. This past Super Bowl 52 was tied all the way. Super Bowl 53 was tied all the way until like 4 minutes ago. So stop complaining about it. At least you're getting something that's not complete blowouts all the time. That game came in. That was one drive. That was one drive in that entire game that actually worked. Touchdown, Sony Michel. Brady led that, went 4 for 4 for like 80 yards, capped off. Just icing on the cake. Amazing. It was fun to like. It was good to know. Like essentially, when they scored that touchdown, I knew the game was over. Like in my mind, I told myself like this game's over. I know exactly what's going to happen. They're going to go down. They're going to throw a pick or a fumble. Something's going to happen. They're going to lose it. Like the Rams are going to lose the game on this drive right here, and they did. Threw the ball to Stephon Gilmore, and the game was essentially over. Formalities of just getting a couple first downs. If they went for a 4th and 1, which all of us were all talking about if they should go or not, then they could have ended it right there. Instead, they kicked field goal, which helped people in my league win more money. But that's it. I mean, it was nice to finally, see Brady take a knee to win the game. I mean, he did it against Seattle, so I guess, I don't know. But that one was way more hectic. That one was like, down to the wire, pretty much last play of the game. But it was nice. 10 points. My prediction was way off. I think everybody was way off. I don't think anybody predicted that one team was going to be held to under 10 points, under 5 points, honestly. It's just, it bugs me that so many people like are poo-pooing on it. Like, and I get it. I get that everyone's kind of sick of us winning. I mean, championship, parade, repeat, Boston. That's it. I mean, the parade was today. It's the kid who I forget his name, but he's literally been to 12. He's 17 years old, been to 12 parades. It's the elite of the elite, the cream of the crop. It's absolutely bananas that they've been able to go to 9 Super Bowls and win 6 of them. 6-3 is just, it's incredible. Now the debate, right? Because there's got to be some sort of debate. People just can't go, yeah, Tom Brady's best. Nah, we get it. Like, we're just sick of him winning. There has to be how is he compared to Jordan? Like now, all right. So now we've stopped with the Brady versus Montana, which I don't even care. Like at this point, who cares at this point? Like he is the best football player of all time, most winning. Like that's another thing too. He's the most winningest quarterback of all time. Like let's get that. He's not. I wouldn't say he's the best football player of all time because that's you could argue there's a lot of people you could argue. Lawrence Taylor, Jim Brown. There's a lot of football players you could argue are the better football players. He's the most winning and most clutch. Yes, best quarterback, which quarterback's the most important position in that game. So, he's the most important player of all time, essentially. Now they're comparing him to Jordan, which I think is fair. I think it's just those two now in team sports. I mean, no one else has the stats, the championships, anything like that. And you can make arguments for both. I think it's apples to oranges. You can't compare basketball to football because football is way more of a team sport than basketball is. I know, you see it all the time. You see if your team has a good basketball player, hence LeBron, you stick LeBron on any team right now, and they immediately have a shot to go to the finals. I mean, he's carrying the bum-ass Lakers. He might even carry the bum-ass Lakers to the finals. I mean, he's not going to beat Golden State, but you get the point. I mean, he can take a crap team, a lottery pick team, to the finals that the year he goes on it, just from that. And honestly, you put anybody on, like, you take AD, he's going to go somewhere. He brings that team immediately from a lottery pick team to a playoff contender. You can stack two people on a team, can change the entire dynamic of it. I mean, hence when we got KG and Ray Allen, they went from the worst was it the worst in the Eastern Conference? But I don't know. They went from way under 500, one of the worst in the East, to winning the championship the very next year. That's what basketball is. So the difference between the two is just there's a huge difference, huge difference. But I digress a little bit. I think it's I think some of the best stuff, best parts of the internet come from the Super Bowl, and I know it's hard now. So some of the things I had if we lost were like it's tough. It's tough to be your team to be in the Super Bowl every year, and it sounds so first worldish, and I might get crap for it, and I think it's well deserved, but it's hard, man. It's hard when your team, if your team gets eliminated in the divisional round, that's it. I mean, it sucks. Your team's out of it. That's it. But when everyone watches your team lose in the Super Bowl, it's the worst feeling. There's nothing worse than it, because now, right? Say the Chiefs just lost in the AFC Championship game. Nobody other than Chiefs fans and maybe Pats fans, because we beat them to go to the Super Bowl, we'll hold on to it a little bit. Like, oh, we beat the Chiefs, cool. On the way to bulldozing everyone, winning our 6th championship, tying the Steelers. By the way, our head coach and quarterback has as many rings as your entire franchise. So wait till we get that 7th. The 7th is coming. It's at this point you're all just petrified, just waiting. Every other team in the league is just like F. But losing that last game, losing the Super Bowl is the worst. It's the worst, because now your team is now associated with the team that wins. So forever, like, we gave Philly a ring last year. Philadelphia beat us. Now, anytime you see Philadelphia showing off that they won a Super Bowl, it is going to be associated with us losing it. Like, I will go back and watch good Super Bowls. I will watch the Baltimore 49ers Super Bowl. I'll watch the Pittsburgh Arizona Super Bowl. I'll watch the Colts and Saints Super Bowl, even though the Colts beat us to go to the Super Bowl. I will watch it because we weren't in it. That's fine. I've watched the 2007 Super Bowl between the Giants and the Patriots once. Right after we beat Seattle, I decided, you know what? Time's passed. They finally won another one. I'll go back and watch it. I watched that game. I watched through the entire thing, and I went, oh God, that was painful. And then I watched the highlights of the second matchup against the Giants, and I was just disgusted and had to turn it off. I watched the Philadelphia and New England Super Bowl from last year that night. The night it aired, we watched it. I have not watched highlights. I was completely drunk, so I barely remember the game. I remember the plays. I remember the Philly play. I remember, Brady dropping the same exact play that happened on the sideline. I remember the plays, like, just because I've seen them in memes and stuff. But I could not tell you what happened during that game. I remember some parts here and there, but I will refuse to ever watch it. And even now we just won. It's too early. I'm not going to do it. So that's just how much that loss hurts. Now, will I go back and watch, like, the AFC? I've seen the AFC Championship game, the one where we were up, 21-3 or whatever on the Colts, and they came back and won. I've seen that before. It doesn't hurt as bad, because you're like, we weren't even in the game. Doesn't matter. Who cares? Like, it doesn't hurt. I'm over it. That's fine. But when your team loses a Super Bowl and then hearing all the crap from everybody, even though you're in the Super Bowl and you have no right to talk because your team didn't even make it, you still hear it, and it sucks. It sucks worse. It burns. Like, if we had lost the Super Bowl to the Rams, we'd all be petrified. I would be petrified. I wouldn't even want to go back. I wouldn't even want them. I'd just be like, just end the dynasty. They went, 5-4. They went to 9 Super Bowls. We won 5 of them. Let's just let's not do this again. And if they like revamped the team and made it back the next year, it would just be misery. It wouldn't be like, yeah, we're back in the Super Bowl. It would just be like, oh, I don't even want to watch this. Like the thought of possibility of losing 3 straight. Like I feel bad for anybody who was a Bills fan in the 90s, growing up watching your team go to 4 straight Super Bowls and lose all of them. That must have just been soul crushing. Like to lose one, awful. But it's like, you know what? We lost to the Giants. We lost to a really, really good team. You know, our team looks good. We're going to be back there next year, and we're going to get it done. Then to lose a second one in a row, oh, God, that's just – it's like we got to get this team. We got to do it. And then going to a third in a row and losing a third in a row, oh, my God, that just must be – I'd give up on sports. I mean, I don't even want to watch sports this year. And then if the fourth, I wouldn't even want – I'd be like, no, I don't want this. I don't want this to happen. And then losing the fourth, it's like, just kill me. Just kill me. So I feel bad for the Bills. I feel bad for it. But luckily we avoided all that. They won. I did not get to go to the parade today because I was working. I had to work. I couldn't call out. I did call out Monday because I just wanted to stay up late watching all the stuff. Wake up early and watch all the stupid news outlets, you know, Undisputed, First Take, all those stupid shows that didn't give me the satisfaction of the win because they just brought up other stupid crap that doesn't even mean anything. Spent a lot of time on football and it's over. Football's done until like August. So this podcast will not be featuring football at all, pretty much, unless something crazy happens. So I try to switch it. I try to keep it fresh because I know not everybody is a football fan and wants to hear me go off on about this all day. But I just had to. So speaking about the parade today, on my way home. Because it's funny, I was actually in Boston because I'm there all the time, sitting there waiting. I did get to catch the smallest glimpse of the parade you'll ever see. Sitting at BMC on the highway, I watched a couple of the flatbed tractor trailer trucks drive by, blaring music. That's what like drew my attention. I'm like on my phone in here, like I don't even remember what song it was, some blaring music, and I'm like, the hell's that? And I see the tractor trailers, like, I'm sure they weren't players because I'm sure the players got off where they did and like get into their, you know, cars and family cars and like left because they're on vacation now. Like they're on vacation. It was just some random people, probably like equipment dude. And he was like jamming on the truck, and I like started beeping my horn. I'm like, yeah. And then I realized like that wasn't players. That was the parade, but it was like the people left over, like the equipment managers. I mean, hey. Ball out, man. Ball out, baby. Get to ride on that. So that was funny. So at the parade, apparently there was a big old brawl fight. It's probably on Barstool. It's probably everywhere by now. I saw it posted like 3 different places. Pretty funny. Looked like some good throws, man. Good punches getting landed. I hate when you see brawls and they're just crappy. People are just swinging around like this, and you're like, all right. Well, the kids that were fighting were tossing them, man. They were throwing those cuffs. It looked pretty good. A couple kids got knocked right out. And you hate to see that because it's like, come on. It's like we're on a fucking parade for the Patriots winning a Super Bowl. Like, why? What in the world are you possibly fighting about? Like, let's get over that crap. And then I saw some people complaining like, oh, typical Boston fans, yeah, have some respect. And you're like, dude, I saw it was like, Philly may wreck our cities, but we don't fight each other. I was like, dude, your fans were eating horse shit. Like, they're fighting, and that's stupid, but I don't want to hear it. Like, that stuff happens all the time. It's just now we live in an age where everyone has a phone and records it. So it's great that it happened. I mean, I hope those kids are okay. Whoever that kid, one kid with a Patriots jersey, I think he had a Gronk jersey on, got knocked the F out. So I hope he's okay. I hope he kept all his teeth, because that'd be a terrible thing. Some kid had like a ripped jersey. Like, how mad would I be if I like just bought a Super Bowl jersey for like $300 and then it gets ripped in a fight outside the parade? I'd be so mad. So mad. Maybe it got ripped and that's why they're fighting. I don't know. Who knows, man. Okay, so this is, if you notice, is the second podcast from this new apartment. It's weird because since I've moved into a bigger place, I've noticed, and I don't know if anybody else has noticed this, but I have a lot more motivation. And I was sitting there trying to think of like what's motivating me. two, what is it about being up here that's motivating? And I think I've come up with a reason. I think that I've realized that having a place that like doesn't necessarily need to be fixed up, but like there's more things I can do in here. I have so much room for activities. No, having like more space is motivating, and I think the reason is because it's like open. I have space to move around. I want to like really do a good job of keeping it clean. As you can see, it's pretty clean. I did clean up a little bit before I started recording because I know you're gonna be seeing. So that granite countertop is not as clean as it. That's not indicative of what indicative of what it normally is. Normally, there's some stuff like probably a couple water bottles, some keys, hats, some sweatshirts, something on it. But I really want to make it a point to keep this place a lot like clutter free, because my last place, oh my god, like you guys never saw because it was just like the back wall and stuff, but it was so small that I couldn't keep things. Like I still have stuff in the trunk of my car. I have like a tent, I have a beach chair, I have my golf clubs, I have a blow up mattress, I keep the microphone stands, I kept those in the car because it was so much clutter. It was so small. It was such a small place that like I couldn't keep anything because it would just like there's no room to put anything without it being on top of you. And that led to it being like I always kept it really dark in there, and like it's dark in here other than the lights on right now. Once I'm done recording, I dim all but like that one. I like to keep it just dim because I just like to do it. But it was so dark, and it was just cozy. It was really cozy, don't get me wrong. It was nice. I had my couch right next to my bed because that's how the studio was set up. So it was just, but the problem was when I come home from like work and stuff, I'd just be like, I just want to sit on the couch and do nothing. I don't even want to do anything right now. I just want to take a nap. So I've really realized that like the motivation of like having things spread out, having my room over there, my living room out here, the kitchen, it's big area. I can like cook. I can like with space. It's nice. It's so much easier to stay like motivated because I'm like, all right, let's get up and do something. Let's get up and clean. Let's get up and do dishes. I'm one of those people, like I'm really, matter of fact, I think you can see some dishes back there. Yep, 100%. You can see pizza box. I can't really tell because this monitor that I have this on isn't really a good monitor, so it looks grainy. But I know when I see the video, you're gonna be like, "That's a pizza box over there you didn't throw out from the other day." But that's my point. It's not always as clean as it is right now. But when you get this motivated to be like, all right, let's do something, because I'm normally like I'll clean it when it starts to aggravate me kind of person. I can't be one of those people that like some people like cook and then they do dishes like right after dinner, and I'm like I got to do it like the next day or maybe later on. I can't just like get done eating and then just do dishes. I can't do. I tried sometimes I do, but most of the time I don't do it, and it's just trying to stay motivated. I'm trying to be better. I'm eating healthier, so like I eat pretty healthy anyway, but I'm eating way healthier, so I'm prep cook all my meals for the week and stuff, and it's so much easier to do when you have space to do it, and I like it. It's awesome. I now know when people buy houses, like it must be easier to stay motivated when you have a house because like it's yours and there's always stuff that's got to be done. So it's like you enjoy doing it when you have this tiny ass space of apartment. It's just cluttery and like just get home and just don't want to do anything. But being up here is great. My dog's loving it. She's somewhere around here. I think she's staring out the window. She does that a lot. I'm up on the second floor, or like third floor. Yeah, third floor. So she I have a main road right there. So she just stares at like traffic, barks at dogs and people walking by, and loves it. Yeah. So that's whatever you use to motivate. Keep doing it. Keep finding ways to motivate, because it's good when you have like even a change of scenery too. Like I'm sure that I will change this living room up. I've already changed my bedroom up already since I've lived here. I'm sure that I'll change up this whole situation. There's not much I can do with it here, but I will anyway. I know I will, because that's just how I am. But it's good, especially when I change things around. I feel like it's a good way to motivate, because it's like it feels fresh, freshens things up. Stay on it. So whatever it is out there that you're doing to stay motivated, or if you're not motivated, maybe change up your setting on where you're sleeping or how your living situation looks in your house. Maybe that'll help you out. I don't know. Let's get to the poll from last week and to this week's, which I have not thought of a poll question. So this will essentially, you won't hear it on the podcast. You'll just have to see it on Friday when I make it up. Right, dog? They're just going to have to wait. But last week's was, because it was Super Bowl, it was topical, if you received free tickets to the Super Bowl, so not like anything else, but just free tickets, Leia, they like to see you. Come here. Yeah, what's up, pup? Everyone clamors for you and only you. You want to come up here? Come here, you fat pup. No, she doesn't want to. She's like, nah, fuck you. So, if you were given free tickets to the Super Bowl, but your team was not in it, but you had to pay for obviously the expenses of flying, hotel, whatever else, whatever other things you got to pay for when it comes to that stuff. I know it can get expensive, but if you had free tickets, would you pay for all those expenses and fly down and go to the Super Bowl for the experience, knowing that your team, in this situation, your team cannot be in it? Would you still do it, or would you just scalp them and sell the tickets? And funny, 25 people voted, 24 actually, and it was dead nuts even. Dead nuts even. I like that. I want more people to respond, so that would be cool. But to see 50-50 like that, it's pretty cool. I will read Nikki's, one of my friends, Nikki. She said, depends on where it is. That's a good point. Lord knows I'm not wasting funds on Minnesota, which is also a great point. And who's playing. But I guess, I guess that comes into it a little bit. But again, it's like you're just getting free tickets. So it would be like if, at the end of the year, bam, free tickets. I know she said she wanted to go to see the one in Atlanta. And I think it's in Miami next year. So that would be a great Super Bowl to go to. Shout out to my friend Mike Berry, because I might be coming down there to just hang around that environment, because just being around there, seeing athletes and famous people would be awesome anyway. So that's why, me personally, I guess I'll be the tiebreaker, because I did not vote. So I will be the tiebreaker and say I'll go. The money would be great, but the thing is, like, yeah, I think of it this way. The money would be fantastic because if they're good, if they're decent seats, you probably sell them for like $3-4 grand. So you're looking at if you're getting one ticket, I guess, or $8 grand for two, which is really, really nice. It's a lot of money, man. But you got to think of it this way. If it's something you want to do in your life, then that's $8,000. You're just, you're going to have to spend money on travel and stuff. But that's like, that's a free $8 grand that you're getting a life experience out of it. You could wait, I guess, and try and pay for when your team is in it. But let's be real. If you're not a fan of the Patriots, then that's not going to happen, because your team's in the AFC. The Super Bowl is now the New England Invitational, man. It's once a year, teams gather, the NFC gathers to see who gets the right to play the Patriots for the Super Bowl. That's pretty much what it is now. So I don't know. I'm gonna say I would go. I'm not gonna lie, I'd check the face value of the tickets. I'd see what I could get for them, because there is a number that you go up to and you go, can't pass these up. I was seeing tickets for like $9 grand. And $18,000, I'm sorry, man. That experience can wait some other time. I got a lot of stuff I could pay off with that. I could pay off my entire car, pay off my house for a couple months, pay off my apartment for a few months. Like, there's a lot I could do with 18 grand right now. So, bucket list can wait. But so they're like, I'm not gonna lie. I won tickets to the Pats game a few months ago, the Minnesota game, and it did cross my mind, like, maybe I could sell these suckers, but I obviously I wouldn't. I didn't. But it did cross my mind, so I'm sure if I won Super Bowl tickets, that would certainly come up. But we have run out of time. I don't like to stretch it over to half an hour, but things go when you're excited about the Pats winning Super Bowls. I'm pumped. Awesome times. Thank you for tuning in from Facebook. I forgot to say during the video, if you could just leave a like, even if you don't love the video, just leave it a like. Just it's bang, hit like. It helps me out a ton. It helps out, man. It shares the video. When you like it, other people see it. Engagements cause the algorithm to go, oh, someone liked this video. Let's push it out to more people. I'm going to share. If you could share those, better. Shout out to the people who showed it. Share it. It's awesome. With that being said, next week, like I said, from here going forward till about August, there will be no football talk on here. So sorry if you miss it. And there you go if you don't. But either way, like I said, like and subscribe to the page. And I will catch up with you guys next week. And that's all I got. See you guys. Peace. 6 rings, baby. 6. Sprint for 7.